Howdy guys, Kirk and Jay here with Kirk, Giordano Plastering, with a tip on how to skim coat Wonderboard, Hardy board, you name it, any kind of cementitious board, and how to do it in a day. Why is that important? Well, I'll get to that later, but here's what I got to work with. Well, you put your mesh tape over your joints, you put your corners on, whether you want metal, plastic, polyurethane, it doesn't matter. It's just like sheetrock. The only difference between what I'm going to do and sheetrock materials is I'm going to use a veneer plaster. It's limestone with gypsum. It's hard. You can't stick thumbtacks in it. And more importantly, rather than come here 3 to 4 separate times and put tape in mud, we're only going to be here once. And we're going to give a finish that's 20, 30 times harder than tape in mud. Now, the fellows here said, "Gee, Kirk, we had a few issues. Can you handle it?" And I said, "What kind of issues?" They said, "Well, we put this on and it's cockeyed, and you can't see it, but it's bowed here." And I thought, let's see. So I put these corners on, and I was using their guides. These are templates, guides, same thing. So I put a piece of their trim board here, and I thought, whoa, dudes, you got close to 3 inch or 3/4 of an inch here, and about 1/4 here, and then you got a 1/2 inch there. And so, of course, I put it on. I thought, oh, wow, it's kind of cockeyed or wonky, but nothing we can't handle. Here's what we're prepared to do. As I like to do same-day methods it'd save you a lot of time to do it one day. For example, I'm going to get started and tell you an example. I hired a fella to do my bathroom, and he's to put an exhaust vent in. So he's doing his exhaust vent in my bathroom. Now, as he's doing the exhaust vent, he did the venting and almost everything else quite quickly. Now what he has left is he's doing taping mud over the sheetrock, and I didn't tell him that's what I do for a living. I thought, okay, you want to do it, do it. So he is in my bathroom now 3 times. And the amount of dust he's made, I finally said, "Dude, leave it alone." That was about a week ago. I said, "Leave it alone. We'll do it," because he's making too much dust. And this system here, you put it on. And remember earlier I said that this was kind of cockeyed? Well, I'm filling a lot of it up right now. And how would you make it straight? Okay, granted, we're going almost 1 inch thick here. Now, veneers are made to go about 1/8 of an inch thick. What happens if you go more? Nothing. It just takes a lot longer to dry. It's kind of like caulking. What happens if you put caulking on and it shrinks the next day because you put too much on? Nothing. Just put some more on. Okay, so I can see right now, because this is so thick, that we will run through this bucket. But just to give you an idea of how to do it, I will stop doing the whole thing and get back to doing just little stuff. All right. Notice the size hawk I'm using. Now this hawk is a 20-inch hawk, or trowel, 20-inch trowel. What's the beauty of a 20-inch trowel? Well, I can use it as a rod also. Say, for example, I'll put this next coat on. Here I'm going about 1/4 inch. At the ends I'm going close to 1 inch. And with this big trowel here, I can feather everything in and do the rodding with it. Say like, okay, I'm going to bring this out 1/2 inch. I can look at it, guys, I've been doing this a long time, and bring it out about 1/2 inch. With a smaller trowel, you leave a lot of trowel lines. Okay, you see just how much I have left here. Say like this trowel here. I'd leave a lot of lines right here going everywhere, so the pull trowel doesn't leave lines. It's great for swimming pools, great for interiors, great for cove ceilings. We used to do a lot of cove ceilings. So here's why what I'm talking about as far as a big trowel for this. All right. Now, because this wall is varied in depth from almost an inch to a half inch, what I do is I can take a rod and rod this, or I can just use this big trowel here. I take it, I go up, come down, and just basically let this dictate my wall. I mean, now granted, I'm flexing with my wrists here and there to get the exact depth I want, but after a while doing this, you get a feel for that kind of stuff. And besides using veneers, one other thing about a veneer plaster is when this sets, I'm going to put a finish coat on it today, and I'm going to add some color in it, just a gray color. That's what these folks want. It's not a problem. You can't do that with tape and mud, guys. Tape and mud, you'll be here with this kind of depth ratio that's off. You couldn't even do this with tape and mud. You'd be here for 3-4 times, and each time it would crack big time. So the bigger the trowel, that just means you can almost use it as a rod to get everything true plummet and level. Of course, you got to use some skill too. It takes time in to know just how thick to go with things. And this is just a base coat here. The finish coat, that's kind of funny there. I was talking to the fellow last night and I said, well, what do you want for a finish coat? And he says, well, we want an imperfect number 4. And I said, I've not heard that one. What is an imperfect number 4? And he says, I don't know, that's just what the architect said. And I said, well, that's like an oxymoron. Like jumbo shrimp, like pretty ugly, like you got to tell me what you want. And he showed me a piece of paper and it said, imperfect number 4. And I said, well, there's no such thing. And what I believe it's, they call number one finish it, whether or not it's with the veneers we're using or whether or not it is with taping mud. Number 1 or 2 is you can just put on one thin layer. Number 3 is you put on a thin layer, but you also have to get all your trowel marks out. You can't have excess mud. And number 4, like what we're supposed to be doing here, number 4 is where you get all the imperfections out. You put 2 coats. You have to have 2 coats for number 4. Number 1 and 2, 1 coat. Number 3, I believe it's 1 coat, 2 or 2. But as you start going up, 4 and 5 is the level of so-called excellence. So when you get to 4 and 5, you've got to have no trowel lines. It's got to be smooth. Smooth. Anyway, I thought that was kind of funny when he said, well, gee, an imperfect 4. First time I heard that terminology. And since we're out of mud here, Jay's going to mix some more mud. And I'm going to stop it right here. And more than likely, when we come back, I'm not going to bore you guys and show you the rest of this. How long will it take for this finish to set, or the base coat? In the heat right now, and we're sucking up on Wonder Board, or whatever board this is, we've hit it with a bonding agent. That plaster weld right there allows a cementitious finish to adhere to anything, or a gypsum-based product. Because they say you don't need it over this, but we always use a bonding agent over any kind of cementitious board because it could be dusty. If you got dust, nothing adheres to dust, so at least the bonding agent gets rid of that also. Anyhow, next when we come back, we'll show you how to do the finish coat over this because it's going to take me another, 15 minutes, plus Jay's got to mix. Okay, guys, back again. Now, if you look right here, I'm using this piece of wood here as a rod or a template. We got flush here, what we wanted. You see here, we got flush. What you folks can do is put your first coat on it and then just take this piece here and go up like this. That means everything will be true and plumb. For me, I just basically used my trowel here. And by the way, guys, this is a big trowel. It's like a 20-inch. You guys use a 16, or actually, any of you new folks, 12 by 5. 12 by 5 rectangular. No such thing as a square trowel. So rectangle trowel, 12 by 5 or 14 by 5. Anyway, lastly, we're doing a little bit of color in this diamond finish. Now, how do you get a color that you want? Well, it's a little difficult. I have done a whole video on just how to get the right color. But say you're going for a color chart. You pick a color here. Then you buy a pack right here. Now, these are generally for 100-pound sacks of stucco, 94 to be exact. You take the bag, we're using 50-pound bags of diamond finish, so you would empty this on a board, cut it in half, and just use half. If you're using a 25-pound bag, you use a quarter. So anyway, now the last thing here too is, find my gloves. Cool. All right. The hawk I was using to spread this base coat was pretty crooked. When I spread the finish coat, I actually want a cleaner hawk. This one is my Marshalltown plastic one. It's a composite. It's pretty clean. Okay, so we're going to start at the top and work our way down. Now, what I'll generally do is, we keep all our tools wet, by the way, guys. We'll take a little bit of finished product. And can you do... There he is. What's cooking, Daddy-O? All right. Can you do just a finish coat on this one fat one? You could, but it sometimes has a tendency to bubble. It'll bubble and blister, and when the more you trowel it down, it's not good. I do show a video doing that too. Okay, so hey, you can see the color. The color is silver gray. Now what we'll do is, I'm starting from the top, obviously, and taking it down. And these finishes like this, what I tell folks is, choose a color. We won't even charge you for the extra color because we can't guarantee these colors. They're for cementitious products, so when we put them for gypsum products like this, you never know what color it's going to turn out. You can have an idea, but that's about it. If it turns out that color, it was by luck. I've yet to match the color identical, even though somebody chose it. So I usually tell folks, no charge for it. What we charge for is to do the actual prep work, the base coat, the finish work. I usually tell people, paint it. But the fella here is a contractor, and he knows you could add color to a veneer. So we take it. All I'm doing is trying to get it to where I could get off of this ladder. You can see my imperfections because when I pull down, they show. No big deal. I will come back to this. And being a veneer finish, I could hit this with water, bring it right back to life. Okay, so what I'll do here is, because we already have our wall true and plumb, we take this and just skim it. And you can see it's sucking up on the wall itself because the base coat has dried. Easy peasy. Yeah, man. What I'm trying to do is put about 1/8 of an inch, because The excess fat I can move around later. If I just go real tight, like say a 16th, then I'm not going to have anything to play with later. See how a new hawk is perfect to do a good job, get the right amount off of it. Boom. All right. Take it down to this fireplace. And if there are clumps in the material, which you guys will get, Jay's a pretty experienced mixer, and still we get some clumps, just keep troweling it down. I'm mixing it on the wall right here. Otherwise, you just go 1 or 2 trowelfuls, 1 pass or 2, and it covers well. You take it down, fill it up the sides, come up, come down. And that's all there is to it, guys. We're going to keep on doing this here. This is actually going to take me about, another 20 minutes. So, because we still have got to put some on the sides, Jay's going to do that while I finish this. And when we're completely done, guys, we'll show it to you. Okay, guys, let's review. Why do a veneer system? Your first coat has got sand in it for strength, and plus when it dries, it will take on the second coat, the finish coat. The finish coat is on now. Now, if you want to get the finish coat, say, what I generally do is I put a little fat on it and leave it alone, and you can come back with water, whether or not it's a felt plastering brush, a big brush for a paintbrush, one of these, a Hudson spray or spray bottle. What it is you wet the wall. Okay, that's water. That's a lot of water. Now, or you wet your trowel. Keep that wet, and when you come up, see what's on there? Just a little bit. Any holidays just a boo-boo, a little divot in the wall. You come back and you do like so. If you another way to do it is what I do is I'll wet the trowel. When it's wet, I'll come over the dry surface and trowel down. We're at kind of like a level 5 right here, but I'll put a little imperfections in it later. You just keep wetting your trowel. A dry trowel will lift this finish from the base coat. A lot of guys say, hey, how come it's bubbling and blistering and it's coming off? Because you're putting too much pressure and the trowel is dry. It'll push it in and then suck it right out. And again, guys, don't use a big trowel like this. A lot of people call and say, hey, how can you put it on accurately with a trowel that large? That's considered Hulk strength in the wrists. I'll tell you, for me, guys, this big trowel right here, it's like $70, somewhere around there, $75. But the most important tool for me is this $1.50 brush. This $1.50 brush, and I just took it out the pack. This is my favorite brushes for corners. Why? You take it on its side, and you just go straight up on its side like so. Turn it around. There's where I just went up. And hit the other side. My favorite, least expensive tool, and it gets all of the clinkers off. So don't spend a fortune on an expensive brush when this $1.50 one. Throwaway works real well. I always put my final touches with this guy right here. Anyway, guys, my name is Kirk. Jason on the camera. We thank you folks for watching, and as usual, we'll see you guys on the next one. Once again, folks, we thank you for watching, and I really enjoy all your comments.
If you guys like this video, please click the like button down below, and also if you enjoy what we do, subscribe to our channel so we can keep making these videos for you.
My name is Kirk.
And Jay.
We thank you for watching, and from the entire Giordano family, we'll see you on the next one.